Mabuhay, everyone. This is Reverend Reg, and today is September 17, 2021. It's 11:45 a.m. here in Manila, Philippines, and I'm very happy to share with everyone. Today, we're talking about business and spirituality. And is there really a sweet spot to it? Because here in my place in the Philippines, we've had this decades, even centuries of programming that having material wealth is actually something to look down on. But in truth, there's something about wealth that solves all our, a lot of our common problems. You know, when someone's sick, which is prevalent right now, we can use that money that you gain from your business or your work by paying off whatever hospital bills or medicines or whatever it is. Or maybe you don't even have to be sick and just be healthy. Make plans to be healthier and spend it on food, vitamins, and study exercise that will actually something that you can specialize on, or maybe you're just enjoying it. And today we'd like to put that in perspective because we know that perspective shapes our reality. And today, I'm very excited to share with everyone because my guest today is an ambassador for peace, joy, and prosperity. She loves to help others, and she's always interested in finding ways to improve her own life. After her husband's passing in 2017, she had to cope with a new reality. So she decided to study metaphysics from the University of Metaphysics and University of Sedona. In April of 2019, she gained clarity on her life's purpose and she decided to put order in her goals and create a strategy to live a more fulfilled life. So today we're also going to discuss SIPWorks, which is a new way to do business, and it's about health and wellness, and we'll have her explain it further. So without further ado, let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Hello there, Reverend Eve.
Oh, hello, my dear Red Red. It's a pleasure to be here. I
Mhm.
have enjoyed so much being with you in this broadcast and enjoying your skills, skills with the camera and with the imprinting. So I have to say that about you. And also the part of business and spirituality, because it's not about my business also, but it's about your business and your audiobook and the PDF that you have, and it's a wonderful material that you have to share with the world. So I want that to be also bring to this talking today. Um, you were saying something about the the wealth and
Mhm.
how by culture many countries, especially yours and mine, uh, well, I'm in the United States now, and I'm an American citizen, but I'm from Colombia, and it's an underdeveloped country. And we grew up thinking that achieving wealth and prosperity, it was something that it was too much out of our league, and it's not true. And they were saying that wealth doesn't buy happiness. But the answer is, well, but it helps a lot. and
Yeah,
I,
it
I,
does
I'm,
help a lot.
and it is nothing wrong to be wealthy. It's more we have seen how these the most wealthy people in the world, how much there are philanthropists and how they help um, so much people in need. So definitely we can do. And from the spiritual perspective, I have learned that uh, as much as I gain, I have more to give. And so, based in the energy of the money, that is not like the bills. It's not the bills. It's not the coins or the physical way how we see money, but is the spiritual energy of the money that is something that is intangible. So from that, when you receive money and you are grateful and you have the happiness and enjoy receiving, and in the same way that it goes, you are grateful for the services that you are paying the money with, and for the people that have provided the services to you and have made your life better. So, and the same way, is my camera or something? In the
Awesome.
in the same way, we make other people happy and make other businesses to grow by using the money that we have gained. So that is the circle of money as energy, and the happier you are with receiving and giving, um, the more money will be coming to you. So the flow of money will be faster and bigger. And
Exactly.
it reminds me like happy money. So knowing that money and make you happy really can make you happy, because is this feeling that you experience when you collect the fruit of your labor. That's money. And when you give to others, they are doing the same. They are collecting the fruit of their labor. And if we give the money to people that provide services to us that make us feel better, that make us feel happy, and that we value, and we say, oh, that is an excellent service. This is an excellent product. So that really will increase this energy around the money. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, it's maybe a new
Mm-hmm.
perspective, but is very trending now, and especially for these times that we are going through, we are more aware of the way how we can uh, be uh, more prosperous,
Mm-hmm.
and like we were saying about that, when you offer the gift, with this question that you posted, um, that is about using our gifts and talents. And I firmly believe that we are coming to a time where we are going to work in things that make us happy, and we won't be working for making the living or for survival.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be for everyone, so much abundance that it really pretty much we will be getting everything that we need and more, with what we love to do with our gifts and our talents. And
Mhm.
like I
Mhm.
see now with Simbi that we share in interchange services and sometimes products, but and we do it like in a very generous way, and we do it just for the pleasure of serving others.
Mhm.
So that's the way things are going to be, definitely.
Yeah.
And I see it more and more now.
Yeah. And I also want to make a follow up on what you just said, Reverend Eve, because first I want to go back to the idea that money is just energy. And the intention behind circulating the money is one of the most important things that we have to, take note of. Because if you circulate your money in a way that you are grateful and that you are happy, there's emotional satisfaction from the way a service or product is exchanged for whatever the value there is. So that's why there's this this is the value and this is what you're paying for because of what you're receiving from the value of this product or the service. And I think it's so important to have that perspective or have that frame of mind, because it's true what you said. It's something that we all need at the moment, some form of wealth circulation. Especially these days, there are multiple sources of wealth. And
Yep.
it's not just money that we are circulating. There are infinite forms of exchange right now. There are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other forms of exchange that enhances the circulation or the trade that's happening. Because one of the things that I want to share to our viewers today, I read this book by a famous rabbi. His name is Rabbi Daniel Lapin, and he has this book called Business Secrets from the Bible.
Mm.
And in the first chapter of that book, he was sharing, we are here with different gifts, talents, and capacities because we're supposed to serve each other. And the more of service you are, then the more reward you get from the infinite intelligence, from God, from that higher power. And that's why you are enriched by your service. But at the same time, you also need to have a good psychological space for you to be receptive to more income, because like what you mentioned earlier, it's not just the money per se or the material money, but in truth the attitude, the receptivity behind it. I like that you talked about you coming from Colombia, because I'm also here in the Philippines, and you talked about the idea where in both our countries there's a limitation in terms of having more.
Mhm.
We feel that we are separate from money or wealth consciousness, and that's the reason why it feels like it's such a power struggle to and it's such a struggle to actually demonstrate supply in our lives, because in truth whatever form of exchange there is, we're just essentially talking about supply. So please expand further, Reverend Eve, because personally for me, when I do work, I know it's also important to have that exchange, because one of the things that I do and I've been encouraging a lot of people to do is to generously support their source of spiritual food or spiritual nourishment, because it enhances the quality of life for everyone. And we know that when we are all well supplied, it's a lot easier for us to be more generous to others because we are well supplied. But before we become well supplied, we need to be in that healthy psychological space. We need to have good internal dialogue about wealth, about money. And especially, we know in metaphysics, money is just a blessing from God because God is the source of our supply. And that's the reason why money is such a spiritual thing. So please expand on it, because I also have my personal experience about God being the source of my supply.
Okay, yeah. um, you mentioned the Bible, and there is the parable of the talents, where it explains that those who use their talents better received more talents. And those who didn't use them wisely, they were taking away the talents. Talking about talents is not about the coins or the bills that were given to them. It was the ability to create new things, the ability to make the world better. So we took them like talent, the real talent or creativity or the skills that people have that can natural to them. So that's and and what is taken away because it's like a muscle. Talent is like a muscle. So if you don't use it, you lose it. So you have to practice with them and you have to use them and not only use it but in the best way possible to help others in the way of service. And you talk about God being our provider, and definitely it is. You see, we are in a planet with Mother Nature that provides everything to us. It's just that we have this disconnection between the physical world with the spiritual. So it is probably now when the spiritual side of our being is taking more relevance, and we now understand that all what we learn when we grow up, there are just beliefs. They were just programs that we have been put into our minds. But as a computer, that our brain works as a computer. So if we change the software, if we change the programs, we get different results. So that's why we are working now, working
Yes.
with a new programming where now
Mm-hmm.
we believe that we can achieve whatever we put our mind and thoughts into. So now we are in a new world when we see an endless of possibilities. And being in business uh, now is like a door open to us to provide service to more people, and especially using the internet. So now
Mm-hmm.
we have a whole world to playground as a playground. And the other thing I want to share is uh, like I'm doing my service and helping people and that can clean their houses to do it. And I do it because I enjoy organizing and cleaning, but also
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that for me is like a way of worship. It's a way to connect with God and say, I'm doing my job to help others and to make the world a better place. And it gives me so much joy to do it and see how people appreciate what I do. And because I put too much love and being so cautious about what I'm doing, uh, the quality of my service is high. So they are very happy and they say, "Oh, you are great, you are awesome," and it makes me feel very happy. And I remember one time back in the 90s or one beginning of 2000s, I went to psycholo- psychological therapy, and I used to dream a lot about picking up trash and cleaning. And I asked this psychologist if I have to do that. Do I have to clean at that time I was an accountant, and I wasn't nothing in the business of serving people to do housekeeping, and helping them with their health needs. And he told me, yes, that's part of what you came to do. So now I remember that, and I say, oh, okay, that's part of my job, to clean. And definitely now we see how it's part of our job, not only to clean the mess that we had made, in the oceans and everywhere, but also to be proactive and um, look for ways to make what is that carbon print less every day. And I'm really committed with that, and looking for ways at least of recycling. That's important for me, and these are all part of spiritual businesses.
Yes, and thank you for sharing that, Reverend Eve, because one of the things that I want to highlight with what you said, especially taking care of the environment, reducing carbon footprint every day, and at the same time taking care of the oceans, all those things, we need money. We need some form of exchange to actually do all that because it will require some form of equipment, manpower to actually make it happen. And most importantly, more than anything else, let's talk about sustainability, because without any form of wealth exchange, whether it's money, Ethereum, whatever it is that people are using now to exchange for products and services, whatever noble idea that you have, it's not sustainable if it's not backed up by money, wealth, or something, because people will eventually have to use their effort and time for something else that will reward them, because everybody has bills to pay. People are going to have to pay for their internet bill, their electric bill, their water bill, their food. Unless all those things are free, then we still have to do all these things. And it's so important to have that psychological space where you appreciate what wealth and money can do for you, because if not, you will not find that space where you will constantly elevate your game, where you will constantly elevate the way you serve in terms of improving your product or your service. And unless you're elevating them, then the value of your product or your service will just be as it is. And if you just have that mindset, then people are naturally going to be drawn to something that will offer more value for their money, especially, although I'm not a fan of hard work because I think we can work smarter. We have this narrative where we say, you know what, this is my hard earned money, and I want my hard earned money to go to something that's truly valuable. So, and for me, it's not necessarily about hard work, but having that level of focus and dedication to come up with the best quality product and service that people perceive whatever it is that you're offering as something valuable. But in all the time that we have been talking, Reverend Eve, I want to go back to, again, God being the source of our supply, and the rest of the people that we are interacting with is the people that we are also going to support in terms of having that exchange, because we know that when we prosper ourselves by working on our intentions, like you mentioned earlier, it's important for you to to support causes that will reduce carbon footprint and will support as well the cleanliness of our bodies of water or the
Hmm.
oceans, something like that. And it's important because I also realized, and I learned recently that it's not only trees that produce oxygen, but somehow in the way oceans elevate the quality of a cleaner atmosphere and support the oxygen supply that we have. Can you please explain more about it? Because we know that all those things will cost some form, will cost something, and that's why we all need to work because we want to live in a healthier atmosphere. Please explain more about it.
Okay, just to take a little from what you were saying, that everything we do takes money, and we need to exchange money, and that's not necessarily true, because like you and I, we are exchanging services, and maybe it's not that exactly right. But I was following, and I completed 14 days. It was a challenge with a program called Your Wish is Your Command. And I completely agree with the concept that he explains in these 14 days. Actually, it's only 12 videos. And he said, you put your mind into what you want to achieve. And when you have that clear idea and this burning desire, and you like live and feel and breathe and smell and see what you want manifested, the money will show up by itself. Because again, the money is part of the spiritual world, and is attracted, and it's based on the law of attraction, and it is by the magnetism, but the law of magnetism, it comes to where is needed. And because we live in this intelligent world with an intelligent um, like we can call it God or the creator of universal intelligence, whatever it is so intelligent, and it's also pure love and benevolence, that it comes to where it really is appreciated. So we start with being grateful and appreciate the money coming to us, and it will keep coming, because it's like we are opening the faucet, and the money will start falling that. So that's for that part. So like I said at the beginning, we are moving into a society where we exchange again, like we did millions of years ago, a cow for a tool, for a pick or something, or for a rope, whatever, and we find the equivalent. So definitely, we and I think that's the part we have to work on. We can't just keep our mind centered in the bills, because again, you were saying now everything is electronic, it's digital, we can see it, we can touch it. So it's in pretty much in the quantum field now. So it's like wireless. So when we don't touch it, we don't have this feel, this feeling of what it is, but it's still there is a presence.
Yeah.
So definitely we have to wrap up our mind into something that is bigger, and is not tangible.
Yeah,
But
but thank you for
go ahead.
sharing that. I believe you. We have to wrap up our minds in something bigger that is not tangible. I believe it. I support it. But to me, let me just go back to what you said. Like in the primitive times, if you need a tool, you exchange it for a cow. And what does money offer, or some form of wealth offer? It offers convenience. And the reason why, honestly, I like paying for services, especially for manpower, It's because it elevates the dignity of the human person, it elevates the dignity of the human labor. And since I'm an advocate of supporting your passions, like your spiritual organization, whatever that may be for our listeners, or uh, whatever it is that you like to support, because that's where you get your spiritual inspiration. Even for that, I have three part-time staff working for me, and I would love for them to be able to receive income and at the same time support their own spiritual communities, support advocacies that they truly want to support because they feel it makes the world a better place. And without the monetary exchange, I don't think they're just going to say, "Hey, pastor, do you need a cow right now?" You know, or are they're not just gonna say uh, to the advocacy that they're supporting, "Hey, if you ever need a cow, just ask me. I have some cows today or chickens." So that's the reason why for me it's important to have a good psychological space about it, because it's not about being materialistic. It's about the convenience that it offers everyone. And it's about the elevated experience of a person experiencing dignity for what they're offering in value. So, for example, even in my own family, we have different talents to share to the family. We also come from very different financial capacities. And one of the things that I told my mom, mom, even if, let's say, there's someone in the family who's not as well off as the others, their form of exchange in service, I think it's still supposed to be compensated. Because one of the best things that I learned from my Reiki class many years ago was that our teacher taught us that it's so important to give an exchange because it gives you the feeling that, hey, you know what? I took a Reiki class. The Reiki energy is invisible, but my psychological upliftment, that feeling of elevation after the Reiki session, it has helped me so much. So now I'm giving a monetary exchange for that service that I was provided by the Reiki practitioner. And it's something that I share with everyone because the reason why I encourage everyone to have that healthy psychological space about money or infinite forms of wealth is number one, because of the human dignity. You're working, you spend for your tuition, for whatever service that you're providing someone or that product that you're providing. You spent money for your tuition fee. I don't think you paid them vegetables, fruits, or cows. You know, I'm sure you paid them some form of wealth, whatever that may be. So it doesn't have anything to do with being materialistic. It just has to do with convenience for everyone. And at the same time, another reason why for me it's so important, because let's say if someone worked to clean my house today and I gave that person money, that person will conveniently support the advocacy or spiritual organization that they would like to support, and it will be more convenient for the person to buy their food after working for me,
Well,
so
uh, we are in a transition. So yeah, we still are going to need some way form of cash or bills or money to pay for services because there are some that don't take cows and and chickens. But we are coming into a war, and that's where the spiritual businesses are gaining a lot of importance because, uh, like you were saying, is not tangible, and because it's not tangible, you don't valorate in the same way that you valorate physical labor or products and services that you can see the result some way. So in the spiritual world, it is only a change of energy, and people are not used to read their energy. So they and we tend to take things for granted and say, okay, when you feel a pain, the pain, you look for whatever solution, right? But when you don't have the pain, now you are okay and you forget about whatever it was the situation. So now it doesn't have any importance to you. Now it's not a life threatening emergency or nothing like that. And that's the way how the spiritual businesses are seen. And now I'm very happy to see that, like the coaching has taken such a impulse now that there are coaches everywhere. And there are more needed, which is wonderful, because now we have learned the importance of the world that is beyond the physical. So now we are getting into the metaphysical field. Now we are getting into the spiritual field, into the emotional and energetic field. And in that, now our services and products that we provide, now they are being more needed and more helpful than ever. So definitely it's a good time to start using our spiritual gifts or spiritual talents. And for us that have been moved into this world of helping and providing service and using the spirituality and the metaphysical to worship our Creator and to make the world a better place, is a great time to do it. And people are paying for, and they start getting used to pay for, because now they recognize the need, but also the results, how their lives improve just by using a coach or a mentor or a counselor, that are all these businesses that we can have in the spiritual world.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. Another thing that I want to say, one of the projects of my ministry and something that I deeply care about is for people to live from the sanctuary of their hearts, to be able to do what they love to do, to love what they do, and to love themselves better. And for you to be able to do what you love to do in majority of the time, you have to be able to monetize what you love doing. When
Mm-hmm.
I was when there was no pandemic, I after work I normally go to the gym, and to pay for the gym fees, I sold vitamins. I promoted vitamins, and I still do promote vitamins, and I still sell them. I'm a certified trainer for that vitamin company, and it's something that I feel very important doing because it's just really a matter of how this is the thing that I love doing. And I want to sustain it for the rest of my life. I want to be able to do what I love to do for the rest of my life. What am I going to do in order for me to sustain it? It's impossible for us right now living in an interdependent community to say that I don't need money, because even something as the use of electricity is something that we pay for in terms of cash or another form of wealth. Some people, I think, they now use Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever that is for them. But you see, there's always some level of exchange that's happening. And the only reason why we have this discussion, primarily because, especially in the training that I got, in the many years of training that I got, attending spiritual prosperity classes, we were always taught that it's important for us to have a good narrative about money because God is the source of our supply. It is God's good pleasure to give us the whole kingdom, and it should be our great pleasure to receive it. God wants to give us all a good life. But if you are not grateful, like you mentioned earlier, if you're not mindful of all your blessings, it's so difficult to connect that God is the source of your supply, and at the same time be able to appreciate God for whatever it is that you have right now. The chair that you're sitting on, Reverend Eve, the beautiful paintings that you have behind you. I'm not sure how you got it, but somehow there was some level of interdependence. That's why you have those things right now. And we want to be able to appreciate whoever made it possible for you to decorate your space in such an orderly, peaceful way. So, even that alone, we know it's such a simple thing, but in the simplicity of counting your blessings, we understand that in counting your blessings, you tend to open up your heart to receive more. And in receiving more, you understand that the more that you have in your life is not just the material experience, but also the spiritual exchange that happened for you to have that more. Because in that spiritual experience that I'm saying, you know that, for example, you wanted the paintings behind you. An idea is part of your spiritual gift. Having that idea, you form it in your imagination of what you wanted to have before you actually demonstrate that. And sometimes you're just in that good energy circulation, you're very appreciative, and you're also serving a lot of people. Sometimes people just gift you certain things without you even expecting it. And in that space, that's why when you mentioned about coaches, especially spiritual coaches who know and have training about metaphysics and manifesting, we know that we demonstrate certain things because our intention is in alignment with that particular blessing. And we know, like what you mentioned in Simbi earlier, you exchange services. So
Mhm.
for me, if I was gonna work with someone for Simbi, for example, honestly, I would prefer that I have some form of exchange because I want that person to be able to sustain doing what they love to do. And although Simbi as a platform offers the free service, someone along the chain of that service, someone is spending for something. It's impossible that in that chain of activity, there was no one who actually spent for it. I am sure the founder or something at some level there is an exchange of energy. So it may not be in that pool of people exchanging the services, but in the chain of interaction somewhere along the way there is an exchange. And one of the guests in my show, her name is Sarah Macrum. She's one of the best teachers I have guested in the show. And she was saying, you know what, regardless if it's a for profit business, non-profit business, there's always a level of energy exchange that's happening. And it's just more convenient for everyone to receive money because if someone worked for me today to clean the apartment, that person is going to eat afterwards. And it's just more convenient to give that person something so that they can sustain themselves. So please let me know, Reverend Eve. This Simbi thing, I'm curious. Please expand more on it.
Okay, let's start for Simbi. uh, Simbi, for me, and I think for many other people, is just a way to share, but it's like a gift. So uh, I enjoy doing something, and I know what I have to share helps others, and I do it. And we charge for it. Some others just say pass it on because it's just sharing, it's just giving, and it's just for the pleasure of giving and sharing and helping others. So it's more like a pro bono type of thing. It's more like a volunteer job, a volunteer activity. but still you meet very great people there, very spiritual, very uh, giving, and uh, what is this word, uh, that help to people. What is I said before, but now uh, I forgot the word. So yeah, you do it just because you have so much. You are so much in abundance, so you are not in scarcity. You are in abundance, and you have this flow in you that you know that is good to give it. So the flow keep moving, coming back, because you don't want to hold what you receive. You don't want to hold into your talents, because again, if you don't give them, they won't grow. That's how they grow, just by giving them to others. So Simbi is a happy place where everybody goes just joyfully, and share just openly, and very uh, 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 generously. So that's Simbi. And the other thing is, uh, and I think it's probably uh, what is happening to a lot of people, and it happened to me too before. When you wrap up your mind into, if I don't do something and get money for what I do, uh, I'm no, I'm not worthy, and I'm broke. And what I'm going to do with my life? How I'm going to pay for the energy bill, or the gas, or the water, or the rent, so of the food, to put food on the table. And I can tell you, you just have to be faithful, and you trust your provider, and things come to you in so amazing ways. Like these paintings were a gift that I received. So things come to you, and again, it's just to keep this communication, this channel of communication open with your higher self, and the angelical and the spiritual realm, and things start to change.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Reverend Eve. I come from the mindset where I really resonate best with Dr. Masters, Dr. Catherine Ponder, and Charles Fillmore when they say uh, money is, a spiritual thing. You can be spiritual and be a good person and still have a healthy perspective about money. And seeing your participation in the activity of making sure that things are moving. I do get a lot of gifts from my clients, from my friends and family, and I'm very grateful for that. But I think also, honestly, for me, I challenge myself as a person who has been attending a lot of classes. Especially, I believe that you're supposed to have goals that are way above your previous accomplishments, especially if it empowers you and it empowers others. I love what Charles Fillmore said in one of his teachings. Charles Fillmore is the founder of Unity, and he said to one of his students, Charles, I dreamt last night I was so spiritual, I can fly. And Charles Fillmore responded to her, did you also go to that space where you feel so spiritual that you can pay the bills? And the reason why we would like to do that is because we want to be a channel where people also experience greater peace. And to me, it doesn't have anything to do with not, there are certain things that you give for free. There are certain things in my services that I give for free. And I do it consistently, but there are certain things that I charge for. And I feel good that there are certain things that I have decided to give for free, and there are certain things that I'm definite I'm going to charge for. And honestly, if other people would like to give their services for free, I'm happy for them. But personally, for me, I look for someone who also has the same mindset, because I want them to I want them to be able to support causes that they believe in, not just in lip service, but also in backing up their words with their money. Because in backing up their words with money, you really understand that they're not just being idealistic, but they are also grounded. And I love teachers who explain it so well, like Catherine Ponder, Dr. Masters, and Charles Fillmore, because even University of Metaphysics, it will not stay for 60 plus years in service giving quality education if there was no money in that exchange. The reason why University of Metaphysics and University of Sedona is has been around for the last 6 decades is because it has that balance of perspective where it can give spiritual service but open itself to the idea of receiving something as an exchange. And this is the reason why a lot of people who believe in University of Metaphysics support it. And even if I have graduated already, I still support the community because I believe in the advocacy that the university is doing. And honestly, for me, Reverend Eve, I'm happy for people if they have that kind of exchange. But when people now come and ask, especially personally for me, I really, really appreciate Dr. Catherine Ponder and her ministry because she gives people tools. What do I do about a healing situation in my life? What do I do if I have a need for supply? And she has over 40 plus years of experience as a minister, how to help people with this. And I love that you're bringing all this up because I'm able to share more about what Dr. Catherine Ponder has done for many decades, helping people stay away from just being in the ideal world, but really be able to ground spiritual principles and help people in their personal and their professional lives. So I want to ask you, Reverend Eve, who inspires you in terms of those discussions about money and business? Because personally, for me, the reason why I enrolled in University of Metaphysics and I continuously promote Catherine Ponder's work, Charles Fillmore's work, and other spiritual teachers who see the fine balance of spirituality and see the fine balance of a material life very important to me, because this is also something that I feel strongly about is necessary. I'm curious, Reverend Eve, who inspires you in terms of these topics that we are discussing today?
But for me, it was some kind of a conflict because knowing that we were going to a new reality in a new dimension, uh, I was like, okay, I going to start uh, releasing all my attention from these three dimensions. So that's how I change the businesses I was doing, and that I get them. I get into them because I wanted to become millionaire, and my interest was just money based. Although I knew it was some kind of service that I could provide, that I'm a mm, person, and that it's mm, like to offer services. So I'm a people person. I was feeling that that wasn't really fulfilling my um, purpose in life. So I left all that behind, and I'm very happy just what I'm doing. And again, mm, I follow a lot uh, channelings from angels and archangels, And in the angelical world, all offer services, but they don't. There is no uh, hierarchies. It's not like being a carpenter is better than is less than being a doctor or scientist. It's just every one of them are providing the service, and I see the world like a puzzle where I'm a part of the puzzle, and the puzzle won't be completed without the piece that I have to complete that puzzle. So my piece matches perfectly. So that's why everybody has different talents, everybody has different skills, everybody comes here with a different mission, but all one has a part that is important to complete the puzzle. So from perspective, money for me is important, and I don't say that it's not important. Uh, for the contrary, I know that uh, money, your wealth is the reflection of your relationship with your provider, with God, with our creator. So in that way, but it doesn't have to be that you have to be a king or a queen, uh, fill with jewelry and gold and all this that we believe is wealth, but it's the part of that you have in your heart. It's the part that the accomplishment you feel in your daily life, like when you go to bed and you say, that was a beautiful day, and I'm so happy for what I lived today and what I accomplished today. That's wealth, and that's spiritual wealth, and it's more important than the material wealth, because that one will help you to get up next day in the morning with the energy enough to do it again and do it again. And money comes, definitely comes, because we are still in a world where we exchange services for money or
Yeah.
products for money.
Yeah. And honestly, there's no doubting how important having a an enriched spiritual life is for me. And that's the reason why I'm a big advocate of the teachings of Charles Fillmore and Dr. Catherine Ponder, especially even Dr. Paul Masters. The first chapter of University of Metaphysics bachelor's degree is about practical mysticism, and the chapter on prosperity. And I would go over all the affirmations that Dr. Masters was saying. I live confidently each day, knowing that the source of my prosperity is God working through me and directing me. I am
Mm-hmm.
at peace and poised every day in the calm self assurance that the power of God and the universe prosper me. I affirm that in the presence of God, I am already prosperous, and that this prosperity is beginning to materialize around me. All channels of my mind are open so that I may receive intuitive direction from the God of my being, to that which brings me prosperity. So even those first four things that Dr. Masters was explaining, he wasn't discrediting the material aspect of wealth. He was actually saying wealth is okay, but it's so important to understand that where we are sourcing it from is from God. And to me, it's so important to have that understanding, and I'm profoundly grateful to Dr. Masters for putting those first two chapters in the bachelor's degree, because if he did not put it, University of Metaphysics will just be one of those schools who's very idealistic but not able to ground the spiritual ideals that it has in tangible form where it can actually support others. And when I was going back to the history of why Dr. Masters was inspired to start a school, he was heavily he heavily invested his time, effort, and resources to studying spiritual principles. And then I found out that Dr. Masters decided to start University of Metaphysics because he wanted to empower people and find the practical value for the services that they provide. And I'm happy that Dr. Joy Maestas was watching earlier because she's a wedding officiant and she does non-denominational weddings, and she's one of the most successful ministers that I know in University of Metaphysics who has a business like that. And you could just imagine, personally for me, as an openly gay minister, I'm gonna look for someone later on if it ever and if I think it's necessary to get married. I want a I want a non-denominational minister to preside over that service or that ritual. So you see all these things about spirituality and business. I'm so happy that Dr. Masters is there, Catherine Ponder is there, Charles Fillmore is there, University of Metaphysics, Unity, and other spiritual groups that talk about the spirituality of money because they're not very ideal about their spiritual teachings, but they're also able to help people in their practical lives. And honestly, I just love the peace of mind having supply that it offers because anytime that you would like to do something, that particular supply will give you the freedom to decide immediately, okay, here's an idea. Let's travel to the Philippines. Let's go over and visit some islands there because I realize they're so pretty. So I have some money now. Let's go there. You have that kind of freedom. But
Yeah.
if you don't have it, I'm just going to if I'm in Arizona right now and then I want to go over to the Philippines and have some vacation, I'm not sure if I call the airlines if they'll be happy to get some of my plants and my cows to to exchange for my airplane ticket and vacation.
Yeah, I want to clarify. My purpose and being the ambassador for peace and joy, definitely for me, prosperity is the key to start because you can be joyful and you can be in peace if you don't have uh, the means to support yourself. And that's why I connect a lot with network marketing, and I get involved with these companies that help not only uh, with products and services, and also to uh, grow some financial independence, but at the same time, being able to um, develop themselves, have personal development, and also the leadership and helping others. So for me, that's like the way to do it. And that's why I so invested with network marketing.
Yeah, and I love the network marketing business as well. And I want to highlight what you just said because it's a people business and a lot of people are actually more prosperous in that business. And one of the things that to me I noticed in network marketing, Randy Gage, for example, he is the world's most successful network marketer. Randy Gage, prior to being a very successful marketer, he was badly in debt. And when you look at the video of Randy Gage, he said, you know, one of the things that really shifted his life was when he got Dr. Catherine Ponder's book, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity, and he
Mhm.
applied tithing. And then, aside from tithing, he also talked about charity giving. And the reason why I love the way Randy Gage talks about network marketing is because he's not just ideal about helping others, but he's also grounded in such a way that, you know, you can receive so much from it and then at the same time help the causes that you really believe in. So to wrap up our interview, Reverend Eve, what do you like to? Uh, what's your last sharing for this interview?
My last sharing is that this has to be continued because we didn't talk about your audiobook and your PDF, and we have to promote that too. So because that actually was the promise that I made when I posted for this event, that we were going over to all the simple steps that you provide to grow metaphysical practice. So it has to be next. But
Yeah,
and I thank you, and I enjoy so much. And I think, yeah, even though we have different perspective, if we look from very not too deep, but when we go deeper, we find common ground. So it's
yeah.
very
And for, Reverend Eve, is it okay if we see your friend in the camera? Because, one of the things that my friends and I do here in our neighborhood, uh, there's we have a friend who has a big house and they take care of all the stray animals. And one of the things that we do, we just support our friends so that they can find whatever is essential for the animals to be healthier. And you see, even that, there's no veterinary clinic that will provide us just their free vitamins because the veterinary clinic has to sustain its expenses.
Oh
So
no, I don't know how it's in the Philippines, but here we find so much things for free. We find so much help. We have here is so common the volunteer people. You see, it's unbelievable. You have to come here and experience it yourself.
yeah, but
I actually learned when I came from my country. I didn't know that volunteering existed. When I said, oh, wow. And people say, yeah, and that's a way how you can actually present yourself to a company, and they will hire you. So it's a way to present like your resume and your curriculum bit, and but in a practical way. So definitely, I think we are living in two different worlds.
yes. And
But at the end,
yeah,
it's true. Money is necessary. I don't say no. It's so good to have it. Yeah, definitely. But no, don't wrap your mind that it's only money. The is money the only way for you to accomplish your goals? Because like I said, if someone will come and partner with you, someone will come and give you, we have all these websites that fund me and crowdfunding. So definitely, and you don't have to buy new, you can buy used, or you can get it for free in many places. That is unbelievable. You just have to be open and connect with the source and say, okay, show me the way. And I listen.
yeah, and this is the reason why I'm very grateful that you're sharing your perspective. And this is also enhancing my belief in everything that Catherine Ponder, Dr. Masters, and Charles Filmer taught me. Because I see how important it is what they're teaching and how it's very practical. It gives people human dignity and it gives people dignity for their labor. Thank you for sharing your perspective, Reverend Eve.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I'm so happy being here. And yeah, by the time goes by. If you agree, we'll do another one where we really get into the steps to grow the metaphysical practice.
Yeah, and uh, I'm not sure how, because I'm the one who authored the book, so I don't know what you have in mind. What do you mean by that?
We can talk about some steps or even just some examples and some testimonials that you have and things like that. just to show people that, and we can take examples like you were talking about, some doctors that had been successful with their
Yeah.
practice, and there are alumni from the University of Metaphysics and University of Sedona, so we can do that. But
Yeah. And
anyways,
thank you for sharing that, Reverend Eve. It's nice that you mentioned that, but honestly, it's true. And I also support Reverend Eve with what she said. You know, when you're doing something and you're just generously doing it, you will find people who'd like to support your vision. And I'm very happy that there are many ways in which things have happened where the value of what I was supposed to pay, for example, leasing an office space, things like that come out more affordable, or they're within your budget,
mhm,
or
mhm.
some freelancers, they offer so much value for their services, but at the same time, they make you pay only a certain amount. And honestly, for me, with what's happening right now, it's a personal opinion of mine. You know, I love working with people, especially freelancers, and paying those freelancers for their services because I also would like to get paid for my services. And there are many things that I still provide pro bono. So it doesn't mean that just because you're asking for some people to pay for some of your services, it doesn't mean that you're also not making other services available. It's just that my teacher George Eason used to tell us, you know, put your money where your mouth is. It's true, and I really believe it because, you know, the only way you can sustain whatever noble idea you have is if there are people who are going to work on that idea, and people need that exchange to support themselves, whatever that may be, no matter how big or small that is. Even if it's small for now, one of the best things that I picked up from Jeff Bezos, he was saying, you know, the smallest acorn doesn't just go into a big oak tree if it didn't start with something small. So maybe for now,
Definitely.
you're just getting paid a little, but over time, the effort, the time, the money, it will compound over time. And look at what it did for Amazon today. So I'm also very happy because, you know, even if other people they don't have a very positive orientation about him, honestly for me, I built my metaphysical practice, and one of those people that I would frequently lean into for decision making is Jeff Bezos in a lot of the nuggets that I got from him, and I'm very grateful that he's made a lot of his content available so that people who would like to succeed to a certain degree can also succeed, because we're not sure we're all going to end up having an Amazon level like of of business, but definitely he's helped me a lot in putting good sense into decision making. So thank you, Reverend Eve. I find so much value in what you just shared, and good night to you and your friend.
And yeah, you have a rest of the day. Enjoy. Oh, my friend, his name is Coffee.
Coffee. You
Okay,
wanna
my name.
other people maybe would like to see him.
No, he left.
Yes, thank you for that, Dr. Joy. She just said she just ordered another Catherine Ponder book. Yes, you know, I've been
Nice.
a reader of Dr. Catherine Ponder for many many years now, and I thank her for being centered and collected, enduring a lot of perspectives for many decades, because she's really helped a lot of people, especially during wartime. She helped a lot of people convert their limitations into points of further creativity, growth, and greater financial prosperity and better health. So thank you, Reverend
That's what
Eve,
we
for
need. That's what we need. Start
yeah,
applying. But I think we are
yeah.
uh, for a good path. We are
Yes,
doing the right things.
and I also would like to highlight what Reverend Eve is doing now. She visited the show before, but I also want to uh, put in the conversation her new business. It's SIP Is that right, Reverend Eve?
Mm-hmm. It works, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, go ahead and please share about it.
Oh, okay. It's a new way to do international business, including health and wellness, fitness, financial growth, all in one company. And
Mm-hmm.
traveling also, using the power of leveraging the referral method of word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. And I'm
Yes.
very excited with it. And I have a different approach to the network marketing that I have done in the past. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm so relaxed and enjoying my path and the process. That it's a new beginning for me. It's great.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Reverend Eve. And I just want to share for those of you who are doing network marketing, about to do network marketing. One of the things that I learned over the years, I started getting into network marketing at 19 years old. I'm 36 now. And it's such a good business to get into. But something that I also learned is that you need to have that healthy psychological space about money, wealth, and sales. You know what? Even if other people are not accustomed to selling, I started selling, I think, at 12 years old because my mom has a food business and little things starting at that age. I learned that if you wanted something, find a way to monetize it so that you can pay for the things that you'd like to experience or you'd like to have. So, thank you so much, Reverend Eve. And
Something I
yeah.
want to note about the works that is very different to a network marketing, the normal that we know, because it's not really based on sales, it's based on memberships. So you have your membership, you receive, it's like a club, you receive services, you connect with other people, you refer to them, and you have a very good compensation plan. So definitely it's nice. I really feel confident about sharing it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Reverend Eve. And of course, we'll do another discussion on it.
Okay. Okay, I think our audience must be tired already. We have passed the hour limit. So
All right.
so
Thank you
have
so
a
much.
wonderful day, Red Rage, and see you next time.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much. And if there's a perspective that we'd like to highlight, like what Reverend Eve mentioned earlier, it's not always about having the abundance of money. But put the intention out there. You don't know, someone might partner with you or support your idea. You'll never know. But the intention is the starting point for all achievement.
Mhm.
Is that what you wanted to get across, Reverend Eve? And correct me if I did not understand it correctly.
That the process is doesn't start in having the money or looking for the money. The process starts for you to have a goal with which you feel so confident that you going to achieve it, that you are just looking for a plan that the universe is providing for you,
Mhm.
and connected with that, and for law of attraction, the resources will come to you.
Amazing. Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that, Reverend Eve. And you know what? I want to thank Reverend Eve because she was the one who helped me with the conversion of my audiobook to PDF. And it's a lot of work, so I thank you profusely for doing it.
My
Every
pleasure.
morning, every morning I would tell myself, "Good morning, it's an awesome day. I choose to make it so." And then, and then you sent it on Facebook, and then I was telling myself, "Hey, it's really an awesome day because I got the, I
I
got the
have a
PDF."
proof. I have a proof. Okay.
Thank you so much, and
Oh, thank
I
you.
trust to have you again very soon. All right.
Okay.
Right.
Bye bye.
All right. So, Satnam, everyone, I had a discussion about business and spirituality with Reverend Eve. It's so amazing because, when we talk about money and wealth and spirituality, it brings up a lot of energy to the surface, like what happened earlier. And it's so important to acknowledge those things that are coming up because you realize your triggers, you realize your limitations. And honestly, for me, I love what Reverend Eve was saying earlier because there are certain things that you can give for free. She does it through her work in Simbi, but she gets compensated as well for other things. And the reason why I feel strongly about this, I've always been the person rather who is I'm a passionate person about doing what you love to do, but I also know that you can't just do what you love to do unless you're able to find a way to sustain it long term. So I'm happy and grateful that my family has good sense about money, and uh, they were always encouraging me to have that healthier balance of me being idealistic and me being grounded, because you can't just be idealistic, you also have to be grounded. And something that I want to share, that I also would like to generously share to everyone. Example, in the past, I really wanted to get paid for writing. And, before I encountered Dr. Catherine Ponder's books, I wasn't thinking how I was going to get paid for writing or how I was going to monetize certain things. But then, step by step, as I began reading her book and connecting with her ministry, I found opportunities in which later on it helped me monetize that particular passion of mine. So, find that space, that sweet spot about what you picked up today from Reverend Eve, where she was saying you get that plan from the universe and then draw it out from the universe and then be deliberate about it, and then the law of attraction will put the resources together. And I'm very grateful for her because if she hadn't asked those questions and had not bring up those things uh easily, those things practically they're also what most people have in mind about these discussions. And until we bring it in the table for discussion, it's always going to stay there at the back of our heads, and we'll never find the completion in all those questions that we have. So remember to put things in perspective. And personally, what I got from her, and I truly resonate with that, be in that space of connection with your higher consciousness, God Almighty, whatever that is for you. And then do the things step by step for you to get whatever idea you have uh in actual tangible result, or whatever that is for you. I don't know what that is for you, but find it, get the idea, put it into action, and then enjoy whatever the outcome is, and then get more ideas if ever you need more of that to make sure that everything pans out well for all of you. So, mabuhay everyone. Remember, put things in perspective because your perspective shapes your reality. Satnam everyone and have fun.